As we got home, Brother Paul and I got out of the car. I hurried to open the door and invited Brother Paul inside. He walked in and took a seat on the couch. "I'll go and call Ruva," I said. I went to our bedroom, and when I got there, I found Ruva lying on the bed, looking very weak, even weaker than she had on the other days. "Ruva, Ruva," I said, shaking her gently. She opened her eyes and just looked at me. Her eyes were pale and full of weakness. "Ruva, Ruva," I called again. She never said a word but just stared into my eyes. She tried to say something, but she was too weak to speak. Fear gripped my heart because this was just how Mama had been in her last days. I left Ruva in the bed and ran to Brother Paul. "Brother Paul, my sister isn't waking up. Please, come and help me." I didn't wait for his response. I ran back to the bedroom, and he followed closely behind. When we got there, Ruva was shivering uncontrollably. Brother Paul immediately crouched beside her, his eyes scanning her quickly. He placed his fingers on her wrist, checking her pulse. "She's hypothermic," he muttered under his breath, his voice steady despite the urgency. He gently but firmly lifted her, positioning her carefully in his arms. "We need to warm her up and get her to the hospital," he said. Leaving the bedroom with Ruva in his arms, looking numb, I followed closely behind. "Get that, we'll need it," he said, pointing at the fleece on the bed. I grabbed it and followed him. We reached the car, and he carefully placed Ruva in the back seat, covering her with the fleece. I sat beside Ruva in the back seat, allowing her to rest her head on my lap since she was too weak to sit up properly. Brother Paul focused on the road, driving quickly to the hospital. As we pulled into the hospital compound, Brother Paul's focus never wavered. He quickly rolled down the window, waving to a nurse standing by the entrance. "Get a stretcher," he called out. Once the nurse rushed over, he carefully checked Ruva's pulse again and whispered, "Hang in there, Ruva," before turning to the staff. "We need to move her fast." They carefully lifted her out of the car, and Brother Paul directed them with precision, ensuring that every movement was as gentle as possible. I followed Brother Paul closely. "Sister Sandra," Brother Paul called to another nurse. She rushed over. "Yes, doctor. Please take care of Gareth. Make sure he's okay." "All right," Sister Sandra nodded, giving me a reassuring smile. Brother Paul knelt in front of me, holding my hands and looking me in the eyes. I was so worried about Ruva, my eyes filled with tears, but I didn't let them fall. "Gareth, do not worry. Remember, we are not alone. God is with us. Try to relax. Ruva will be okay," he said with a smile. I looked into his eyes, feeling comforted by his words. I threw my arms around him in a tight hug, and we held each other for a moment. Then, he pulled away and followed the staff as they took Ruva inside. Ruva's point of view. "The patient is showing signs of hypothermia. We have no information on her medical history," a voice said, firm and professional. "We'll need to run some tests," it continued. "Yes, doctor," came the chorus of responses from the medical staff around me. "We need to stabilize her immediately. The hypothermia is severe. Start in 4-drip, warm fluids, and monitor her vitals closely. We can't afford any delays." One of the nurses nodded and quickly moved to set up the equipment. Dr. Paul turned to the team, his voice sharp but calm. "Keep her warm and monitor her temperature closely. Once she's stable, we'll proceed with the tests." I drifted in and out of awareness. I could barely feel my body, just the cold stiffness weighing me down. Distantly, I heard the beeping of machines and the hurried footsteps of nurses. Through heavy, half-closed eyes, I saw myself lying on the hospital bed. My skin looked pale, and an oxygen mask covered my mouth. 4 drips hung from stands beside me. The machines around me, especially the heart monitor, grew louder. The steady beat began to slow, each beat weaker than the last. Ruva, stay with us. Dr. Paul's voice broke through the fog. I felt my soul leaving my body. I saw myself lying there, while the doctors fought desperately to save me. Then suddenly, I was in an unknown world, a place unlike anything I had ever seen. It was a world covered in complete darkness. Not the kind of darkness we know on Earth, but something far heavier. Thick. Suffocating. Alive. There are no words in any human language to describe the darkness I saw. It was endless. It swallowed everything. As I walked in this place, I noticed we were in a queue, a very long one. The air was filled with an awful smell and unbearable heat. A smell beyond earthly description. There were cries, many of them. Loud, heartbreaking, terrifying. The sound made my entire being tremble with fear. Yet, without anyone telling me, I knew exactly where I was. I looked at the line and saw even children, some as young as 11 or 12. I thought to myself, why are they here? My thoughts echoed, and they were heard. I was given answers to the questions I hadn't even dared to ask aloud. Then, a vision appeared. I saw a boy, around 12. His mother spoke to him, but he answered with disrespect. He ignored his father's warnings. Later, I saw him alone in his room. The door was shut. He was watching inappropriate things on his phone. He thought no one could see him. But little did he know, what he watched invited demons through his eyes. In the spirit realm, he was not alone. What he thought was harmless led to secret acts. In the darkness of his room, he gave in to temptation and released a seed, thinking he was pleasing himself. But in the spirit, demons were waiting. They took that seed, an offering he unknowingly gave, and formed chains of bondage around his soul. What he believed was pleasure became a spiritual covenant. He kept returning, unaware of the unseen union with darkness. What we do in private may be hidden from people, but nothing is hidden in the spiritual realm. Every secret act is seen clearly by angels, demons, and most importantly, by God. Hello family. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and leave a comment. And let us know where you're watching from, we love hearing from you.